Well, a radical new treatment is becoming increasingly popular for trauma sufferers after being endorsed by Prince Harry. In a recent mental health documentary series hosted by Oprah Winfrey, Harry is seen undergoing a form of therapy known as EMDR, eye movement desensitisation and reprocessing.
For me, it's all about prevention. London is a trigger, unfortunately, because of what happened to my mum and because of what I experienced and what I saw.
Just notice what comes up.
First developed in the 1980s, EMDR is typically used to treat unresolved anxiety, trauma and also post-traumatic stress. In Harry's case, the treatment has been employed to help deal with anxiety following his mother's death. And joining me now, clinical psychologist and EMDR practitioner, Dr. Sarah Schubert, and also one of her former patients, Danielle Sergriff. Morning to you both. Sarah, just explain to us how this really interesting form of treatment, I guess, works.
Oh, hi, thanks. It's an interesting treatment, Ben. It works because as human beings, we are who we are because of everything that's happened in our life. And sometimes our life experiences are really hard and our mind and brain struggles to make sense of traumatic and negative life experiences. And the therapy works, as we see here with Harry, by the therapist actually creating a safe and trusting space in a session. And we identify the experiences that have happened in your life and bring them into the room in a gentle way to reprocess those memories out so that the past can be in the past and our past life experiences don't continue to create stress and anxiety and triggers in our current life now.
I tell you what I admire about this, Doctor, is, well, from Harry's perspective, I guess the courage that it takes to share this sort of treatment publicly, particularly when there are outdated, I think, concepts surrounding mental health and privilege, those sorts of things as well. He uses this treatment to deal with issues stemming from his mother's death when he was 12. Is it common for this sort of therapy to treat long-term trauma sufferers?
Absolutely, yeah, Matt, because it is a common therapy. It's been around for 30 years now, and I think, the best of my knowledge, if I could take a guess, there's probably about 4,000 EMDR therapists here in Australia, and if you're seeking support and help for any struggles that you're having, it is reputable and it's covered by Medicare. You can actually get Medicare rebates if you see a licensed clinical psychologist here in Australia.
That's great. That can be really important too in helping people try to deal with what can be mounting costs when it comes to tackling mental health. Danielle, a big thank you for being here and also for the courage in sharing your story. You received EMDR. What did you make of the first treatment and how has it been for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's always going to be a little bit strange doing something that's maybe seen to be left of centre, and you're sitting in the room with the therapist, and rather than traditional talk therapy, you're following their finger and you're wondering, is this actually going to have any impact? And progressively for me, I did realise that it was having an impact and it was creating a shift within me, a really positive shift.
I love that you smile about it and yet still can reflect the fact that it actually worked. How did it work, if you don't mind me probing?
Yeah, most definitely. So the best way for me to describe it without going into too much depth is when I turned up to see Sarah, I had a lot of weeds in the garden and the weeds were becoming quite overwhelming, to say the least. And life, I knew that I wanted to see, more flowers in the garden. So the process of the treatment really helped to just remove the hold that the weeds were having on me. Definitely, they're still there from time to time, but they became less overwhelming. And as we progressed through the sessions, probably after about the 5th or 6th session, I realised that the colour was really starting to return to the garden, and the treatment was really taking effect. And things that were affecting me in the past, certainly they didn't have the hold on me anymore, and I was able to bloom and blossom again.
It's really potent imagery, it's really potent messaging. I'm delighted to see you flowering. I'm also delighted that you both shared the stories this morning. A very, very big thank you on behalf of us here at Weekend Sunrise. Thanks to Danielle and to Sarah.